Weapons decoded, explained, review. You are the weapon. You are the weapon. What's up, family? What's the deal? What's the deal? Dreamwise here for another one. Yes, sir. Patreon family. Had to do it for y'all. Had to give y'all this play. Had to give y'all this understanding of the new movie 2025 Weapons. Weapons. And it's one of those, it's a powerful movie that gives us an understanding of who we are divinely. Now, I know a lot of people are looking at the movie as a movie of kids getting abducted, kids being used for their fuel, their life force energy, kids being, um, basically captured and taken by these elites, these draconian beings, right? These uh, vampiric energy, these parasitic energy beings. But it's a little bit deeper. It's a little bit more clever than what meets the surface, especially in the lens that I'm getting it from, in the occult lens. The occult lens is your first eye, seeing past the illusionary tricks of the glamour of what is showing you on the surface level and getting really in depth into the real meaning of the movie, the deeper spiritual meaning of the movie. So, hey, I'm excited about this one, family. This is one of those that I am excited about. Let's get it on. All right. So now let's start with first, y'all see the cover, the arrows, right? Cool. We got that. We see and understand that there's arrows pointing up. And these arrows or these children are in the form of essentially just arrows pointing up, right? Or a triangle pointing up. As you can see, I'm looking like a triangle even here, right? My arms are the sides, my head is the point, arm side, right? Triangle, cool, right? So now you see that in the theme and how they were running is basically that. It's as simple as that. There, it's a triangle pointing up, as you can see in this cover right here. Triangle, they're pointing up. This going upwards, right? In that particular idea. If you just look at it symbolically and understand what's actually happening. So then the biggest play that I wanted to uncover was a lot of this happened on 8-8. 8-8. And 8-8 is the lion's gate, the passion, the fire, the Leo the lion, right? Fire, passion, burning, right? And in the movie, one of the interesting things about the title was that uh, uh, there was a triangle in the title. There was a triangle where you can see the circle at. There's a triangle in the title. Weapons with the triangle pointing up. Well, that's the same as this triangle, right? Or these kids looking like a triangle pointing up. Feel me? So now all of a sudden we got to look into that and understand that that triangle is actually what? Fire, right? The symbol of fire, passion, burning. So one, it comes on out in the Leo season, Leo the lion, the fire, the passion, the burning, in the 8-8 portal, which is about fire, passion, burning, right? Going walking through this portal, right? The burning bush, or like I was telling y'all, the burning bush is what? The vagina heating up. He's heating up. And understanding that the heat, the passion, the love, the energy that is coming, secreting from the vagina is an important aspect, right? Now, the vagina is also a triangle, but it's pointing down. Cool, right? But at the same time, at the end of the day, when you look at it and understand that it's bringing in this moisture and fire and water is opposite, which is a triangle pointing down, is creating the balance, unique balance whole. So even if you see the symbols, fire and water, fire is the triangle pointing up, right? And then water, it doesn't have it right here, but water is a triangle pointing down. Cool, right? But all together, it creates the Merkaba, or the six-pointed star, or the balance, which is six. So you need fire and water to create that balance. So boom, the title told us what this was about the whole time. Weapons with the triangle and the circle. You feel me? So essentially that's fire around earth encapsulating this circle, or even just a 0 point if we want to go that deep. You feel me? Fire encapsulating a lot of chaos, right? So we want to understand that the movies, all the movies that come out, they're going to show us in the titles. They're going to show us in these particular shows, TV shows. They're going to give us the play in the trailers, and they're just going to sleight of hand it, but it's for somebody with the keen eye, that first eye, to see. So again, this is about fire. This is about burning. This is about not burning in that way, but this is about passion, courage, Leo the lion, right? The 8A portal. What are you going to do? What are you moving into, right? What's your desire, right? What you're passionate about. You feel me? We got to understand that to the core. This is a big deal. And the passion, or the Leo the lion, of that fire energy, it can be brought down into the childlike spirit. So remember, the childlike spirit is your creativity, your innocence, your play, your fun, your adventure. You came down here, listen, family, you came down here to have an adventure. You didn't come down here to work a job that's keeping you in a loop. You came down here to experience, and the experience is way more important than you being in survival mode. No, that's a hard pill to swallow, but you gotta experience down here. Because again, in this illusion that we're in, if you don't have the experience, right, then you won't be able to transform, because this is about passion of the Christ. So you came down here to literally put yourself in the minutia of the world, where you're going through the struggles of the day, maybe some hardships, maybe some success, some thriving moments, all of that, right? But there's a purpose driven that you came down here to create, or to accept that journey, right? And a lot of times when you're just being Thomas Anderson, right, in that cubicle, stuck in that box, you're not expressing yourself freely to be Neo, the one. And the one is the spark of light, the thought, the first, the going, right? You're out here hunting, you're out here moving. So I want the family to understand that to the core, that passion, that creative energy is your childlike spirit energy. Like when you were a child, that's why the whole idea is getting back to the child, going back to your pure knowing, right? What it's a thing that's pulling on you. You got to do that. You can't sit in a cubicle and just think that your life is meant to be rot and stuff, because you're trying to appease everybody else and help everybody else, but you don't help yourself. So you got to yearn into that passion, that fire. What keeps you up at night? What makes you feel like, right? And if you don't know, that means you just got to go deeper into the fold of getting back to your balanced self, which is your meditations, your emotional work, and really finding that person that you truly are. So we see it's fire, triangle in the circle, right? In the weapons title, fire, fire, that's the symbol of fire, right? Fire, heat, passion. Another aspect of this triangle is also your hierarchy of needs, right? And when we talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs, we're talking about the survival mode at the bottom, but then in self actualization is your creative mode at the top. So when we're trying to reach the top of this triangle to feel that heat, that passion, that burning, that fire, right? We got to understand that that's the real true self. Your root chakra self, your survival mode, food, water, sex, sleep, homeostasis, all of that stuff, right? That's cool. That's part of your journey down here. But as you rise to the top, as you keep on working on yourself and growing and start understanding the importance of having, safety, the importance of belonging, your self esteem, all of that stuff, climbing the ladder, right? Your self actualized self will then realize you came down here to express something with passion, and that's your purpose driven at the top. Self actualization, your realization of God. And it says self actualization is a person motivation to reach his or her full potential. As shown in Maslow's hierarchy of needs, a person's basic needs must be met before self actualization can be achieved. Now, all of these physiological, safety, love, belonging, esteem are part of your chakra work, right? Your emotional centers, ridding yourself of the human emotions, right? So as you rid yourself of them human emotions, essentially you start to realize that you're bigger than the human urges, the demiurges, and you get into the self-actualized state of mind, which is God. So the human urges again, or the demiurges again, are keeping you trapped by your emotions, your root chakra, sacral, solar plexus, heart, right? Now, when you get to the heart, that's where the wounded child lies. But that wounded child then turns into Heru, and Heru comes back to the kingdom, right? Lion King Mufasa come back to the kingdom to be the king. So we want to understand that the kingdom is up here in your head, and that's you returning back home to take your rightful throne, your king, your crown, your tiara on in the pride land, which is all that you survey, even that dark area over there. Chaos in the blood, baby. I'm just telling y'all what it is. So then we got to look at it and just understand and remember all of these triangles are still pointing up to the first part of the weapons, right? The weapons cover. Boom. Very first part, the whole weapons theme, right? Is that. So boom, we're here, boom, self-actualization still. Climbing up the ladder, your basic needs, your psychological needs, but then you come becoming God at the top, self-actualize. Achieving one potential, your creative activities. What what are you meant to do to create? See, some of y'all are past all of these particular survival mode needs, right? If you're not, you just got to keep on because it's not necessarily about you. Uh, you got to understand that even if you in a one bedroom apartment, if you're having gratitude, thankfulness, love for yourself, now you're balanced. You're in a holistic appreciation for where you're at. Like you got a car, you got shelter, you're good. You can get food, right? You're good. So then the ego or the glamour starts to set in when you say, "Oh, well, I want a bigger house, a bigger car. Oh, I want to eat over here," and all of that, right? Your basic needs is you to understand that you have a physical body and it needs to be fueled. But your real God yearning energy is your self actualized being, which is your higher self, which is your higher mind, which is a higher way of thinking, which is your creative endeavors down here in this earth realm. And that's this triangle pointing up. So understand we're here, family. This is it. Weapons, we're here. You're the triangle, or you're the childlike spirit, right? And it's pointing up. As you see, these are children pointing up, right? Or they're in the form of this triangle, right? Just like the title, triangle. So the children are the childlike spirit. It's the childlike essence. It's the Heru. It's the higher self. It's the higher mind, right? They say you they say the children will set them free in the Bible, or whatever that verse is. And sure enough, that is a metaphysical concept to give you an understanding that you got to get back to the adventure, to your fun, to your passion, to the love that you have for self to grow, to expand, to be enlightened, the enlightened one, the enlightened mind, the illuminated one. You feel me? Very, very important to understand that. Now, in the show, they also had the construction. The dude, one of the dudes, he was a construction owner, right? He owned a construction company, and that is just constructing your new spiritual home, right? And as you can see, Adam and Eve is the concept of the human, right? Their house is pointing downwards. Their triangle is pointing downwards, right? Home pointing downwards, Adam and Eve. This is you as a human, right? And that human aspect of you, Adam and Eve, is the the part of you that needs the physiological, the safety, the love and belonging type of energies, right? The lower three chakra energy. You feel me? That's Adam and Eve. You're a human. You're in this human vessel, and you still got to respect it, but you got to understand that you got bigger fish to fry, which is us spiritual people, right? Because again, when you're saying you're spiritual, that means you're saying you transcended the human realm, right? So a lot of my work is based off of people understanding that a lot of people that's claiming to be spiritual haven't transcended the human realm because they're still in the survival mode instincts type of vibration, and they haven't moved past these particular urges. Yeah, you get up and go to work and do what you have to do, but that doesn't mean that's who you are, right? At your core. Even in you're doing your job, there still should be a fuel, a passion, a fire, what we're talking about, right? Fire, Leo the lion, courage, that gets you when you get out of that job, you put together some kind of passion driven purpose thing based off of your flame is so light, fired up. You feel me? You're intense, you're hyped, right? So then when you see the middle of Samuel and Lilith, and I'm trying to show y'all with my pointer, but it's not obviously I don't have no pointer. I wish they would have a pointer. That would be so fly if StreamYard had a pointer. But when you see Samuel and Lilith in the middle, you see the house is pointed up. Well, Samuel and Lilith or the Baphomet is actually your spiritual work, right? Your spiritual technologies. So remember, Baphomet is a multi-level symbol that's just expressing the spiritual technologies you have to get to work, to become that spiritual worker, to be illuminated at the top of the triangle. And y'all know what's the top of the triangle, right? We don't have to get there. Keter Bina Chokma, the top, knowledge, wisdom, understanding. Father, mother, child, the top, the very top, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, right? The top of your home is pointing up. That's the triangle pointing up. That's the roof is pointing up, right? You're constructing your new spiritual home. You're constructing your new home down here in this third dimensional earth realm, but you're constructing it in the mind. So understand to the core that this triangle is showing all naked ass in this show weapons, as this triangle in the circle in the title weapons is what he wanted you to see without seeing it. You feel me? And nobody ain't gonna give it up to you like this. I'm just telling you what it is. The whole theme is about this triangle. This thing doesn't have anything to do with that whole adrenochrome and these people eating your stings. All right, that's the surface level thing that they always do in these scary movies. They're trying to do that because again, they want the people that don't know Baphomet to stay out. The Institution is another one. The Institution show on TV. That's another one. They showing you what they're showing you, but they want the people to know to stay out. Remember, that's the Institution is about children, right? Children being abducted and they got telekinesis powers and stuff like that, right? Cool. But now we're finding out that it's a little bit deeper than the surface level things as you go into episode 7. That's what I'm on now. So, hey, and if y'all ain't seen the institution, watch it, because that thing is fire too. And they're abducting children. It's the same thing, right? But it's a deeper meaning to it. I just heard Chris Brown. He said, we ain't gonna talk about the kids in Virginia being abducted and things like that nature. And essentially, what he was saying was essentially what was happening. He was saying he's seen a post that's saying, yeah, there's 100 kids missing since June 1st. That post in Virginia, that post been going viral. But the police been saying like that's a fake post because it's not real. There hasn't been 100 kids missing, right? And all of that stuff. So you could create illusionary ideas of, and we know this is child trafficking and things happening of that nature and stuff like that, right? But remember, they show you one thing and you make it be the all. They show you one black guy getting killed by a white cop, and then they create the narrative to say it's happening everywhere. You feel me? They show you niggas in the hood fighting and beefing and getting shot or whatever, which is a thing that's happening, right? And then, but y'all know when you be in the hood, it's really peaceful, it's really calm. The real hood is just not, it's not about all rah rah and stuff like that. Now in the hood I'm talking about in Houston, right? So you know what I'm saying? It's not that deep. It don't be that kind of rah rah type of energy like that all the time. People try to make it seem like niggas is just about some kind of drama and trauma thing, but they're showing these one clip videos that's making it seem like it's happening every day, on the day, every moment. It's not going down like that. You feel me? So we got to remember that they're creating the reality based off of the tell lie visions that they keep on showing to you, and then you accept it and say it's real. So remember, you got to protect your mind from all these distractory energies, because then it's just going to keep on putting you in a state of fear, and that fear is what's causing you to decay inside, and then say, all right, y'all just give me whatever we need. You just tell me what to do, because you don't want to go outside. Well, you got to go inside to eradicate that fear so you can then go outside. So remember, they're showing you Baphomet to scare you off, right? Because they're saying, yeah, let's put this hideous image out here, right? So the ones that ain't ready for it, don't have the heart for it, get run, and the ones that are really about that life, about that work, about that spiritual work, can get into the space of getting to work and doing the work, the alchemical work, which is turning iron into gold, coal into gold, right? Water into wine. The alchemical process that we're talking about, transmuting. So here goes a big thing that was constantly being shown was this 217, right? Now obviously there was 17 kids missing, and two of the people, the young boy and the teacher, was still there. So then you know the surface level niggas are saying, yeah, see, that's the ratio. that's not that's not what this thing is, right? The dude's name, the construction dude's name, and I'm sorry, I don't got all these people's names. You know what I'm saying? Because I just seen the movie once and I didn't think to take down their names or anything like that. But the construction dude's owner's son was named Matthew, right? And Matthew 2:17 says, fulfills the prophecy of Jeremiah 31, describing the mourning and lamentation in Ramah over the slaughter of the children in Bethlehem by King Herod. The passage uses the imagery of Rachel weeping for her children to represent the mothers of Bethlehem, emphasizing the deep sorrow and inconsolable griefs over the loss of their young sons. It's speaking of childlike spirit or life force energy. You see, remember the Bible is a metaphysical Bible, so you can't interpret the stuff literal. Like I'm saying, you can't interpret the movies literal. When you when you see the death card, that doesn't mean you're about to die. In your dreams, when you see somebody die in your dream, that doesn't mean they're about to die. That means they're going to go to another level in this earth realm, right? Cool. We got to understand that they're putting a major fix on your ass based off of the logical, rational left brain imprisonment. The real game and the real sauce is that all of these stuff are symbolic messages of an underlying code to understand something deeper. So in this particular text, Matthew 2:17, and 2:17 kept on being shown, right? It was even shown on the AK-47 that was in the sky or whatever. 2:17 is speaking about this particular part of the children being slaughtered, right? The the aspect of that idea of being slaughtered, but in the Bible, what they're actually talking about is the childlike spirit being lost, the childlike spirit being uh, killed off, right? Your childlike spirit being drained, or not taken serious, or the wounded child aspect. You feel me? So when you see movies and shows with children, right? They've been showing a lot lately, right? If the person is an occultist, they're literally talking about childlike spirit when they're putting them in these movies. So that's the same thing with this, right? They talk about childlike spirit energy. That's it, which is life force energy, which is again what I said: the fire, the passion, your ability to have the adventure, right? The top of the mountain, right? So let's go back to it. Ketabina Chokma, knowledge, wisdom, understanding, right? Understanding is what? The child being birthed. The top of the tree of life is your real kingdom. You feel me? So that knowledge, wisdom, understanding is the child being born. Doesn't matter about the the man, right? Which is knowledge. Doesn't matter about the woman, which is the gestation period, which is the wisdom. You learn, you're growing through it, you're working it out, right? It matters about the understanding you get in the whole. The whole thing is about the child. The child, which is the understanding. Oh, aha. Oh, when I do this sun gazing, oh, this is what it is. Oh, wow. When I'm grounding, this is what I feel. Oh man, I did 30 days of meditation. Damn, I can see the difference in my energy, right? Oh, I did a fast for a green juice fast for a week. Oh, that's the child. The aha moments is a child. Light bulb going off is the child because it makes you anew, a childlike spirit, an adventurer, a person that's trying things. You feel me? Person that's going to go out to see who she's destined to be, right? So that's a big deal in all these themes and stories. They're giving you a concept to understand energies. And these energies are very important to understand to the core, to the depths of the core of what's actually happening. So again, in this Bible verse, they're talking about the childlike spirit being lost, being killed off, and has to be renewed because there's a Messiah coming. So they're like, fuck, who's this Messiah? Hell no, let's kill off all of the children, right? Because they're thinking the Messiah is going to be born or whatever. But that's the Messiah is going to be born in one of these children. But that's the part of the killing off these innocent energies. You can't take it literal. It's killing off the aspect of the childlike spirit that you've gone through in the aspect of what? The demiurge. Don't worry, we're gonna get to that, baby. You know we're gonna get to it. Watch how dream works. Watch how dream works. Watch how dream works. So remember, the demiurge, right, is a very important aspect in our journey down here on Earth. And the demiurge is essentially your human urges. Remember, let's go back. The three, the lower three of the chakra system, right? Your physiological, your safety, your love, and belonging, right? Them lower three is the demiurge, right? Your human, the human angst, the urges that you feel inside your body, right? To, oh, I want to be somebody, the glamour, right? All of that, the lust for sex, the lust over food and stuff like that, right? The lust to be belonging, to feel that belonging, right? To have the biggest house. So we can go to Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? Food is physiological language. Food. I want the biggest. I want the best food or whatever. Right? Cool. Sex. Ooh, I just want to have the most tremendous sex and stuff like that. You feel me? All of these different things is expressing. Even homeostasis is expressing like, yeah, you can be balanced, but do you want to be that nigga? That's the glamour, right? You want people to say, oh, that's him. There you go. Check him out, right? All of that. Even with safety, let's go there. Security of body, right? Secure in your body. Are you self assured? Like niggas want to be super fly and shit. And then the comparison syndrome happens. You feel me? This is all the aspects of the demiurge. Oh, why is he looking? Why does he look better than me or whatever? Why does she got a fat ass? Or why does he always have to fly his clothes? You see what I'm saying? So we got to understand that aspect. Employment. Damn, my job is not, I want that big. I want that bag. You feel me? So these can all be overinflated or underinflated in the aspect of, we talk about demiurgic energies, right? Let's go to love and belonging, right? Family, like you compare yourself to family and stuff like that. Friendships, you, I gotta be the shit too, or damn, he's not really my friend, or that aspect of jealousy in all of these particular departments can be demiurgic energies that cause you to stay in the human emotionally. You feel me? That's why the chakra work is so important, because you just got to rid yourself of the human emotions, and then you can see clearly now, right? One that is a decisive power. So boom, there go this she's the demiurge, right? In this whole thing. Cool, right? And remember, she's the one that was doing the witchcraft, the voodoo, and all of that other stuff to bring forth the 17 children to her, right? And now let's look at her, Gladys. Now look at Gladys, old white lady, right? She's trying to gain her youth back, trying to gain her livelihood back, her vitality back, right? So in this picture, they're showing her put on her makeup is disgusting looking. Her hair wig is to try to, oh look, I'm beautiful or whatever, right? The glasses, the whole makeup, and then she's obviously wearing red, which is a root chakra, human urge, uh, uh, physiological energy of I I gotta be here, or y'all look at me, y'all worship the ground I walk on, right? Look at me type of energy, the glamour. You feel me? I want to belong. I want to be somebody. And the real game is to be Mr. Nobody. Mr. Nobody is you taking yourself out of this time space continuum and being into your godhood, being into you, being in bliss with you. So when you are aging, right, you age divinely. Not saying you can't dress yourself up. I'm saying the aspects of feeling like you need to pull off of somebody else's childlike spirit essence is the problem. You feeling like, damn, these 20-year-olds is doing their thing, man, and I'm here 60. Fuck, I wish I had my. No, you had your time. You came at the specific time you came in. You feel me? Damn, I'm about to turn 35, and damn, these 19-year-olds doing their thing. No, you got to be in contentment, in balance, in harmony with you and where you're at right now. The age ain't nothing but a number. We're talking about you being in love and in a trance like state with you, and not trying to feed off of the childlike spirit energies, right? That's that's for them. You feel me? You need to feed off of your own childlike spirit energy that's still within you. And you move into that through your own internal work, your own godhood right power. So remember, the wounded child is in your heart. You just got to break that child out and set him free so he can play at 45, at 55, at 75, at 30, at whatever, right? And the idea is to understand that the demiurge energy is you. You are the demiurge. Demiurge is your ego, and your ego is a trickster energy that's just trying to keep you content with the human that you built based off of the programming and thoughts that you've been manipulated with. So now you got to understand to the core that these human urges, these demiurges, doesn't serve your greater good in the aspects of getting to the child, right? You see, you have to just do the passion driven thing for you, nobody else. It's not about nobody else, right? We have to understand that this world with the social media and the technology and stuff is built off the glamour. Look at me, look at me. Hey, check me out. I'm shiny. I'm the shiny one, right? The real game is to understand that you came down here as an individual sovereign being, and you have to move in the space of loving on yourself, right? So much that you are happy with just being you and nobody has to see it. So now give you an example. You make paintings, right? Yes, you can sell the paintings, right? But somebody's opinion about the painting doesn't have anything to do with the passion that you felt in the painting. You feel me? You make YouTube videos, right? Yes, you might want people to like it and watch it and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I'm making them for me because I feel in my heart that this is a passion driven purpose adventure that I'm going into that's actually moving my spirit and giving me completion, holistic understandings of myself as I keep on walking this thing down. So that's so important, family. I can't make it up. Like it's a big deal to be in love with you and be so in love with you that you don't need anybody else's validation or demiurge energy. That's essentially that's what it is. That's the ego driven energy of trying to be somebody and the glamour and stuff. And like, yeah, I'm the shit. I know it. Like Bobby used to talk about this all the time. You gotta let it go. You gotta let it go of all of that aspects of you that's holding you into um, this earth dweller thing. Panic used to talk about it too. It would say, um, I see the praises or whatever, cool, but it doesn't sway me in any way because polarity, like and alike, are the same. Them same praises from that same person could be hate one day, and then love the next, and then hate, and it's just ping pong back and forth. So again, what's the real game is to balance that energy out and be in love with you. So you are this ego, you are this demiurge, and you got to understand that you have a childlike spirit within you that you want to cultivate and let him reign supreme, Mufasa. All right. So in the classroom on the board, Um, on the board, the teacher was teaching about parasites, and that's the parasitic energy of the human urges, the demiurges, trapping people into a continuation of the glamour. So a lot of people are thinking about this stuff as outside of themselves, as, oh yeah, these people are parasites. That's the stuff that be getting clicks and likes and stuff on videos. Oh, the Anunnaki is coming back. Oh, Donald Trump is doing something. Oh, they're eating, they're taking our children. Oh, the police brutality, right? Uh, uh, KKK, all of this energy. Oh, they're the parasites, right? But the real game is you're the parasite, and you have this parasitic energy as the form of the demiurge. And remember, the demiurge is just your ego. So that demiurge or the ego is the human urges or the parasitic energy that wants to be somebody, that wants to be in the glamour, right? The human urges, demiurges, are parasitic forces that feed on our unchecked desires, shaping reality through the illusion they cultivated. So, in the grand scheme of things, you are the enemy to your own light. So now a lot of people are saying, like, oh yeah, there's people out here that's eating people and stuff. She's Gladys is a representation of the demiurge or the ego energy or the parasitic energy inside of you. The 17 children, right, is the aspect of uh the wounded child inside of you that's trying to find passion and burn through this thing, in the aspect of them being these triangle symbols, right? This little boy right here, the one that basically saved the day and caused the harm, because he the one that pulled their names off the thing, and then so but he also saved the day as in becoming the hero, that as in saying, nah, let me cut this thing off, right? So that's him. That's you as Heru or Simba, coming back into your right state of mind, your chaos state of mind, your heroic adventure. So you're all the characters in one, and you're understanding yourself in the course. So what they were showing when they were showing the teacher drinking, right? They were basically showing her in her human, and then she has sex with the the uh the pop cop. Cool, right? They were basically showing the human urges of everybody in life or whatever. You feel me? Like, oh, he's sleeping with this cop, right? That's immoral or whatever, right? The cop has a wife. So then you seen the wife come and say, bitch, she hit her with the bottle at the liquor store. Ugh. She at the liquor store every day, suppressing the aspect of herself that knows. You feel me? Um, what else happened? The dude, the construction worker dude, right? He painted her car with, you bitch, you witch, you know what I mean? It's rightfully so, right? Because he trying to find this child and shit, but he's in the space of uh uh not seeing it from her point of view. So the judgment stage. She didn't do. She like, nigga, I'm trying to figure it out. Let's talk to the little Alex kid. She there at the meeting with y'all. Hey, you just look at me. What's up? You feel me? So all of them stories. The police chasing. He was chasing somebody, right? Oh, the white kid that was running away and shit, right? All of those are urges, demi-urge energies, emotions. So it wasn't Gladys that was only the emotions or the urges, right? It was all of the characters. You feel me? They all were showing their emotional stir up in the aspect of their lives happening in a particular way. You feel me? And what did all that boiled back to? The lower three chakras, the hierarchy needs, the emotional, uh, the security, the safety, the belonging, right? So the teacher was, she felt like she needed to belong, right? So she slept with the dude, right? She felt complacent. She was alone in her car. She was drinking. She was scared. Her safety was in shambles, right? The police, same thing. He was angry at the dude, so he's trying to go get him his place of employment, right? He's a cop. It was getting threatened because the 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 chief was saying, "Hey, nah, nigga, you tripping in this bit," or "Hey, nah, I gotta let you go," whatever. His wife, his home. He looked at his wife when she came home after he had sex with the teacher and was like, he couldn't even say nothing. She was like, "You damn." She was just disgusted. You feel me? So all of those stuff boils into demiurgic energies, right? And all of that. Even the construction worker at his job not being prepared at the house and all of that stuff, or that he was had a conversation about the home being like, yeah, whatever, right? Complacent. So all of that demiurge energy is you. Remember, it's not just Gladys, it's all you. Now, this is a big thing, and I want to dive deep into this. So, remember The Shining, right? The Shining was another movie back in the day where they were dealing with children. They was dealing with the little kid that ended up being the main character in Doctor Sleep, and then they were also dealing with the twins in the Shining movie, right? Now, remember, The Shining is about the aspect of you shining, you having your shine, right? So remember uh, uh, the black cook, or he was like he was doing all the stuff. He had the goddesses, the divine feminine energy goddesses, on top of his room. So he had them in where his TV was at and on top of his head, right? So that's just speaking of divine feminine energy. So remember, that's the same thing that The Shining was uh the same story in this story. Like, you have this shining in you. So that's the telekinesis powers, that's the superpowers, if you will, right? Inside of you. You're trying to express it through the childlike spirit. You feel me? So you gotta express it through the childlike spirit, but it's in the divine feminine energy or the black goddess. So we got to understand that to the core. That's a very, very important aspect of this, right? Remember, the true knots in Dr. Sleep, they were the same thing. Demiurgic energies. You feel me? So, yes, I get it. Y'all are looking at it from the lens of like, oh, there's people out here that's vampiric and stuff like that, right? That's, these are out. Life is also an allegory in the, yes, there might be people that's out here doing that, right? But the bigger idea and the bigger concept is you are these parasitic energies as well, doing this harm to yourself. So remember, one finger pointing out, there's four fingers, three fingers pointing back. So now all of a sudden, boom, you got to understand that it's just showing a mirror in these movies, in these shows, of uh, energy that's inside of you that you got to kill off, which is the demiurge, which is something that you're not going to kill off completely, but you're going to have to, as you're on earth, but you're going to have to get the understanding of it and have a bird's eye view, or a observing ego point of view to get out of your own way. Very, very important to understand that to the core, right? Very important. Boom. Remember, it's the same thing. She was the demiurge energy, right? The witch lady in Doctor Sleep, and then they were eating off the children, right? It's the same thing as this show, the weapons, right? Because remember, you are the weapon. So remember, a weapon can be constructive or destructive, right? So when we're speaking of weapons, we're speaking of the aspect that can protect and serve you, right? Which is your energy. You will stay with me. And then the aspect that can uh, harm people, which is your demiurgic energies, right? So now we got to understand that you are being your own worst enemy in the aspect of you are the ultimate weapon in this thing, because your Kundalini life force energy is the weapon that they're speaking of, right? So they're stealing these life force energies from these children in this shows, in these movies. Cool. But what they're saying is you're actually stealing your own life force energy because you're not raising it up. You're keeping it stuck in, your light is stuck in the lower 3 chakras. And you have to raise it up to get past the illusionary tricks of the human to get to your knowledge, wisdom, understanding, or your crown chakra, or even your soul chakra, which is the 8th chakra. So now remember, in Dr. Sleep, it was the witch lady versus, or the true knots versus abracadabra, right? And Abra, or her name, the black female, the black child goddess, right? Which I told y'all, black, the true world is black teenage goddesses, young girls playing, adventure, having fun, da 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 da. So abracadabra is a magical saying that you say to make things happen, to put things out there, to bring forth manifestations. So they named her Abra for the aspect of abracadabra, because she had superpowers, she was able to see, she was able to transport her body and everything like that. Cool, right? And she was going up against the true knots. But these two are one and the same, because they're essentially you as a human going up against your demiurge energies versus your magic, your ego versus your spiritual self, devil and Jesus on my shoulder. And you're creating the illusion of separation when you all are both just one, and you have to be able to have some kind of balance or harmony to get to the whole understanding of you as a human, but then understanding you as a spiritual being as well. So it's not to shit on the demiurge energies. I want to keep that separate too, because again, it's just to understand that aspect of you that loves to have a gluttonous day of eating food, that aspect of you that loves to drink alcohol or whatever, aspect of you that loves to eat foods, right? And it's just eating at your childlike spirit, which is the aspect of you transmuting your energy into something sublime, something live. So you are the demiurge. You are the demiurge. And as you, the demiurge, you've fallen into 2 categories: the love and the lust. Chaos in the blood, right? So lust, remember, lust at first sight takes impatient, desire, selfish, not always loyal, right? Look at the lust where the heart is in the lust, right? It's in his groin, it's in the vagina, in the groin, in the penis, right? That aspect of, ooh, I want to give out, I want to give out. The love is where? Up here in the heart chakra, where you're transmuting your energy up to another level of godhood, into the Godhead, into the kingdom, into your dome head, right? So your heart has to be in the aspect of love, unconditional love for yourself. That's how you get out of the demiurgic energies, or the glamour, or the ego. So now understand that to the core. How do you do it? Well, let's talk about it. Let's do it, family. Here we go. What is sublimation? What is sublimation? Sublimation is the process where a solid substance transitions directly into a gas without passing through a liquid state. This occurs when the temperatures and pressures of the substance reach a specific point known as the sublimation point. During sublimation, the substance absorbs heat, energy from its surrounding, causing its particular particles to gain enough energy to overcome the attractive forces holding them together as a solid. The result in the particles breaking free and becoming a gas without ever becoming a liquid. So here we go, dream wise. You done it again, you rascal. So, in my journey, right, I had to understand that, okay, I got these demiurge egoic energies. I feel lust. I feel like all this sexual energy pent up. I feel the need to eat particular foods and stuff like that. And gluttony and all of that, right? I feel the need to be, fucked up and out of my mind and out of my homeostasis, right? Cool. That's the demiurge ego driven energy. It's nothing bad. It's just an energy that we all have inside of us that we got to learn how to balance out. Now, in the sublimation process, right, you transmute that energy from what? From its stagnant state, from lead into gold. So this says in mystical traditions, sublimation refers to raising energy, like sexual or primal energy, into higher states of consciousness. Uh-oh, lead in the gold, right? Water in the wine, right? In mystical traditions, sublimation refers to raising energy, like your sexual or primal energy, into higher states of consciousness. So that's you raising your lust, your desire, your envy, your jealousy into something that's gold, that's God, that's beyond this human urges, the demiurges. Example, transmuting desire or lust into spiritual devotion, creativity, or enlightenment. We can do this. This is what we do, family. This is the transmutation process. Transmuting your desire, your lust, your enviness, your jealousy, the endless in the Sandman, right? All of that energy, that glamour, right? The transmuting the demiurge, the ego energy, right? Where you fall in, Sophia, to raise back up, Lucifer. You fall in, the fallen angel, to raise back up as the light being, to be illuminated in the mind. So often discussed in alchemy, tantra, and yogic teachings, turning the dense into the refined, lower energy into a higher vibration. So whenever you feel this need to go jack off and watch porn and stuff, what can you do instead? Well, you could do some breathing exercises and transmute that energy up, right? To then have a creative spark where then you say, oh, wait, let me use this energy and start to make this YouTube video, right? Let me use this energy to paint my painting, right? Let me use this energy to go show this person a house and give them the plays on the house so I can sell it to them, right? Let me use this energy to speak. So now all of a sudden you feel the urge to shop. Like, damn, I want to shop, I want to buy, I just want to just spend, right? Because that's also an addiction too. Cool. You can do a spiritual practice, breathing exercise, meditation, walking, sun gazing, something spiritual, right? To transmute that energy, that urge, that demiurge, to the creative mind. And now, guess what you're in, baby? What are you in, Dreamwise? You're in your higher mind of needs, your self-actualization, achieving one's full potential, your creative endeavors, your creativity, spontaneity, problem solving, right? Lack of prejudice and acceptance of facts. Just moving in the space of empowering yourself through, without the human urges, the demiurges of the energy entrapping you in a particular state of mind, or you feel you have to jack off or you have to do this, right? Very, very important to transmute lust into love for self, lust into love for a project you're about to put out, a creative project you're doing, lust into your passion, something that you're passionate about doing and creating and giving into the world through your dharma. Remember, your dharma is the purpose driven that you living in through, right? The energy that you're living into through, oh, this is what I'm meant to do down here, right? That feeling of knowing that there's something else that you need to do. That's that dharma energy, right? So let in the gold, let in the gold, lower energy into higher vibrations, right? Sublimation, the energy being sublimated, sexual energy, kundalini, life force, creative essence, emotional energy, anger, desire, grief, passion, right? Instinctual drive, survival, power, hunger for control. These energies are raw, powerful, and magnetic, but when left unchecked, they bind you to lower cycles of desire and reaction. So understand that all of these emotional energies are tying you into a trap of the human vessel. And when you raise this particular energy up in the form of kundalini, right, you are essentially taking yourself out of the human and entering into the God, out of the lead and entering into the gold, which is God. So now we got to understand that to the core. That's the real alchemical process of you moving past uh, uh, the human urges, the demiurges, is the sublimation process. And you can do that through yoga, mantras, meditation. Kundalini can be awakened. I gave out so many different things in the form of your Kundalini awakening. So it says Kundalini is a form of energy that remains coiled up at the base of the spine. When it is raised, the Kundalini flows through the 7 chakras, which instantly leads to spiritual enlightenment. Kundalini can be aroused through various methods, including meditation, yoga, and mantra spiritual work. So this is important to understand that, yeah, you might be feeling this energy to uh, have a gluttonous day and just eat, but there's something that you can do to actually transmute that. And sublimation, it says, instead of suppressing or indulging these energies, sublimation transmute them. So we read some of this book. We read probably to Gene Key 9, maybe. And the gene keys are a very good thing because it's basically going through the sublimation process, right? It's giving you the sadas and the higher self. It's giving you 3 stages, right? Which is very important in the aspect of gaining clarity and light, right? And I think I'll do a whole thing on the gene keys one day as well. It's uh, uh, the aspect of the work, the aspect that you need to know in the work, the Sadas, and something else. I can't remember exactly what it was, but that's what it is. Hold on, let me see what's good. I can find it. Okay, what's the 3s? Okay, the shadow, the gift, and the Sadas. That's what it was. Shadow, gift, and the Sadas. So this is you tapping into different aspects of yourself. So the shadow could be looked at the ego-driven self or the demiurge self. But remember, the demiurge is not a bad thing, right? It's just part of the game down here, right? Because yes, you can have that time of lustful sex, right? That's okay. It's not a bad thing or like, oh, you're supposed to be Mr. Perfect out here. You came down here to experience these energies, right? These shadows. You feel me? Your shadow self. But you're not supposed to stay in it because that's you staying in the human. So now you got to follow into the alignment of the shadow. Then you go to the gift, which is the gift is when you're, figuring things out. You're in between stages of your shadow and sadas. And then the sadas is the higher self, the higher understanding, your higher knowing of why you went through it. So y'all check on, I think it's in the collections tab, Patreon family, um, the, the, the gene keys that we went through. So here goes the aspect of it. It says lust, love, devotion, right? anger, strength, justice, fear, awareness, wisdom. You feel me? So this is you transmuting them energies, them lower demiurge energies, into into your childlike spirit, into God. So this is why many mystical traditions stress not wasting energy through mindless sex, arguments, addictions, or distractions. That same fire, when sublimated, fuels higher perception, creativity, and spiritual awakening. So that same fire that's burning you to look at the toxic stuff on TV or have a toxic conversation with somebody and argue, that same fire that you be having, you be, nah, nigga, my hood was way throated to your shit, nigga. You got me fucked up. I'm from the hood, nigga. You got me. All that, all that low vibrational stuff, or that I want to that horny stuff, right? That lust, like you just looking for something, right? That energy, you feel me? That fire that you're feeling can actually be transmuted up and be into the Godhead, which is the gold, which is the God, which is the Sadaz, which is your higher mind, which is going to then give you creative adventures to do down here instead of just being in the eating, fucking, sleeping stage. You're in a space of loving, wisdom, and power. Very, very important, family, to understand. Hey, and listen, I've done this in my journey because again, the sublimation is part of just you, understanding yourself and understanding you're human. Like y'all hear my stories all the time, right? Shit, I tell you, this the most humanist shit I be on. You feel me? But I transmuted that energy through fasting from food. I transmuted that energy through holding my seed, right? Sustaining from sex, right? I transmuted that energy through meditation. You feel me? Through the silence in the mind, so I won't have to fall into the space of the anger or the want to gossip energy. I talk to myself in my mind, and I'm gossiping with myself in the love department. So it's not so in meditation, you're just making love to yourself. You're not in the space of let me find somebody to gossip with. No, you're making love to yourself, so you don't need that aspect of somebody else on the other phone. So let's talk and let's gossip, right, about this other person or this coworker at our work, right? That's the energy that you're feeding into the illusion of the demiurge. Um, so that fire is a real thing. It's a passionate energy that you feel like, oh, I can't wait to watch that. I love in hip hop or whatever that fire is for y'all, right? Well, I can't wait to watch. It's the same thing with the distraction, the Breakfast Club. They just show nothing but this person said this about this person, or oh they beefing, or all of that stuff. We love that fire. That's the fire, the passion that we have to see. Oh yeah, they don't like each other or whatever, right? That thing. So your energy is a weapon. Use it wisely, family. Your energy is a weapon. Use it wisely. Move your energies up through the chakra system, and you'll be able to start moving into a space of God and understand that you are Gladys and the children at the same damn time, at the same damn time, at the same damn time. Yes, sir, family. Weapons. You are the weapon. Weapons. Decoded, explained, review. And look, leave some comments down below and let me know what you think. Let me know if you got any questions. I want to hear from y'all, Patreon family, so we can dive deeper into the fold of this conversation. Because as we have this first part done, right, and this first understanding of sublimation done, now let's go deeper into the fold of what we're dealing with our urges, with our demiurges, and see how we can transmute that energy from this fire burning energy to this passion fire burning energy of creativity, love, wisdom, God. Y'all know what it is, family. Peace to the gods.